I want to share with you a bit of a funny story that happened to me the other week, but I think it really makes for a good life lesson to be learned here. And that was about a week or so ago. I was going on a date, and on my way to the date, I was sitting on the underground train, waiting to get to the appropriate station, and about a group of like 4 or 5 people came on, and there was only one girl in that group. And I had my headphones on, but I sort of had the music on a little bit low. And to be fair, they were speaking so loudly, it was quite easy for, I think, everyone in the vicinity to hear the conversations that they were having. And it became very clear that the guys were all part of some like band, and the girl was essentially a groupie. She was a massive fan of them. She clearly had a massive crush on all of them as well. And what made the conversation that everyone was overhearing so unique was the fact that it was a very over-sexualized conversation. Like, the guys were saying things that were clearly hinting that, you know what, they wanted to have a bit of fun with her, and she was just being incredibly confident herself, and also saying like the things that she'd be open to with the guys, and that she just didn't really have any shame, and she would have been absolutely okay for things to happen there and then on the train. And it was a very wild conversation. It was just hilarious to listen to, and you could see it on other people's faces, sitting there on the train, hearing, you know, what this group was saying. And it got me thinking about how, you know what, as a guy, if you are working on your social skills or not, so many people, or if not everyone around you, is still having a dating life. The world doesn't stop or stand still if you have decided not to do anything about your dating life. Everyone else is just living their life, and they're living it to the best of their ability, whether they are being very open about what they are doing in their dating life or sex life, or if they're keeping it very private and to themselves. And I just thought it was a really interesting predicament when you were kind of just the reactions from people on the train, and even how I sat there and thought, like, you know what, maybe in this moment my dating life isn't as interesting as their dating life. But even for guys who then aren't doing anything, maybe they've got a lot of social anxiety, or they are scared to take that leap to put themselves out there in dating, maybe because you just haven't had that much experience, or maybe you've just come out of a relationship and you don't know how to put yourself out there again. Unfortunately, whatever your situation is, the world isn't going to wait for you. So you might as well be participating. You might as well learn how to improve your dating life and have one that you are incredibly happy with. So it's just a good little takeaway, I think. And it made as well for a really funny conversation with the girl that I then had the date with, which in a way kind of leads on to another point, how anything that you do experience in your life really can make for a great conversation with someone, and certainly open up some more interesting topics. So like when I got to my date and I told her about this situation on the train, she loved it, and it got us actually talking about other friends that we had who had strange and surreal dating lives, as well as it was also an opportunity for us to talk about maybe what some might consider as taboo topics in our own dating, relationship, and sex lives. So there's never really... you never really miss out on an opportunity with anything that you experience. And if it's not a funny story that you overhear from other people, it makes for a great conversation that you can have with people that you are meeting or dating as well. So I guess really the main takeaway with this is, again, like, the world will keep on spinning whether you are working on your dating life or not. So even if you decide to take a break, even if you are scared or worried how to actually jump into it, you know, just know, like, the world's going to carry on revolving. You know, no one really cares about your dating life or your sex life. They're too busy worrying about their own and enjoying their own. So, you know, you might as well put yourself out there too and experience the things that you want to experience. But yeah, I thought it was a funny story. I wanted to share it with you. I wish I could really remember more of like the things that they were saying, but let's just say like she would have been quite happy to have given them happy endings on the train, as well as they were kind of like requesting the idea of like having like a foursome or an orgy sort of thing with her. And, you know, just seeing people's reactions was just the most funniest thing. But I can only assume as well, like when they were probably going home to either their partners, their boyfriends, girlfriends, or even to like their friends or family, I'm certain that they probably also brought up that story and said like, you know what, I had the most craziest thing on the underground today, and got them thinking themselves as well what their dating life is like or what their sex life is like, and are they actually doing something useful with it, or are they just neglecting it? And remembering that the world is still carrying on, whether they are doing something about it or not. So I've been Dan, that dating anxiety guy, and I really hope that this story, I suppose, really does kind of resonate with you and gets you to think about, you know, where you're at with your dating life and why it's so important for you to put yourself out there, because the world isn't going to wait for you. So if you're struggling to, you know, take that initiative or take those steps so you can work on your dating life, then please, by all means, do like this video, subscribe to the channel, because every like and subscription helps me to grow and reach more guys. And of course, I want the channel to be about content that's going to help you specifically with your anxiety problems and also help you with dating. I know I've also said it like 1,001 times. I am actually looking to try and get infields made. I really do promise that. And my best friend actually has now said he is going to help me with that. But because he doesn't live in central London, it's just trying to get the timing right with him outside of work. So bear with me. I do promise that that content is coming. But of course, you know, if you've got requests on things, do let me know. And if you are interested in coaching, whether it be my life coaching service, my eye movement therapy, or you really need help with your cold approaching because you've got a lot of social anxiety and you are finding it very difficult to be talking to strangers, then do check out my website. Links in the description below, and I can certainly help you there too. But again, the world isn't going to wait for you if you aren't working on your dating life. So you might as well jump in and enjoy the bumpy ride that it is.